we got better as the game went along. Obviously, a long way to go still, and navigating through the season and the process. That's really the name of the game. So that's what we're going to do.
What were you told after the Sturzer face masking? It looked like a regular scrum. Both helmets were kind of pushed up. What was the explanation given by the refs?
He just told me that there was a face mask on our side and he didn't see anything else. So it's unfortunate. I don't think it was intentional. I mean, if there's a battle and guys are going at it together and, it gets a little heated. This is a huge rivalry now, and unfortunately, Cage got caught. So it really put us in a little bit of a scramble mode because we've got to switch lines, and then we had an injury, and so we were a little discombobulated in the first 10 minutes, I thought. But once we got the kill, it started to settle down a little bit, and I thought we played pretty good from that point on.
Is that something that's addressed from the refs or before the game, before the season starts, that's going to be something that's looked at more this season, or it's in the rule book, it's something they can call, and it's the way it goes?
There's lots of things in the rule book that are not called. If you jab somebody, that's considered a punch, but it's never called. So face masking is in there. It's not something that's a point of emphasis. It just so happened that it happened on Sunday, and we move forward.
You mentioned it. This is from Ryan C. You mentioned it post game about the new high sticking rule, how that guy was in front of the goal. Maybe last year would have been a high stick. This year it isn't. Do you have an opinion on that rule change, for good or for bad? I know it hurt you this weekend, but
Yeah, I mean, hopefully it works out in the end. But I think the hockey community thought it was a skill play to tip the puck that high, and most players now are taller than the crossbar, so it kind of makes sense. Good play by their guy. I'm not sure, other than boxing out and pushing him away from the net, what Sibes could do on that, but good play by their guy.
Any red flags, or correct that, anything that should be addressed, or you saw, we need to work on that this week in preparation for Vermont?
Yeah, I think we're constantly evaluating, and there's only so much you can do in the preseason, right? You're trying to let guys get their legs and their chemistry, and you're trying to be as detailed as possible. And I think that's part of our process. That's part of our identity. But then once you start playing some games, things start to kind of come out a little bit. So, we're working on a few things today that we didn't do so well on Sunday. I think our detail and our habits will continue to get better as we continue to play in high energy, high intensity games like we did on Sunday. As I told the team after the second period, this is big boy hockey. You got to be ready to go, not only physically but mentally, and and take what the game gives you. So we worked on that today. We'll continue to work on the little details of the game, but like I said earlier, it's a process that you have to navigate through. We feel like we have the right guys in the locker room. It's just a matter of putting it all together, and this is a long season, and you don't want to. There's certainly no reason that we can't get better. That's part of our identity. We've got to continue to do that.
You mentioned Seibel played pretty well on Sunday. This is again from Ryan Stieg. Are you planning on rolling with a rotation like we saw last year, the same two goalies, Trotter and Seibel?
Yeah, I think you guys can ask me that question every week. I'm going to tell you the same thing. We'll evaluate during the week, and come Thursday night, we'll make a decision on who's going to play Friday, and come Friday night after the game, we'll decide who's going to play on Saturday. It's not something that we go into every week knowing that we're going to play one or the other on any given night. It may work out that way, and it may look like we have an idea or a plan, but I don't think that's fair to the goaltenders during the week. They still have to, no different than any other position on our team. You still have to come ready to practice, get better, compete. do the things that we're asking you to do so that you can earn that spot on Friday night.
In preparation for Vermont, I mean, they haven't played an official game yet. Coach is relatively new to the. How much do you worry about that, or is it just play your game and let's get after it?
Well, I mean, there's no secrets in college hockey. We know all the players that they have. We've seen them play. We played them a year ago. They took it to us pretty good. Most of their guys are back. Their coach was there. Even though he was in an interim position, he was there for the entire year. So they're familiar with him and feel comfortable with him. I think it's a really good staff that has their guys prepared every night. They've got, and they, kind of like St. Cloud, they've got depth in all positions that are really either solid and know their roles, or they're dynamic and can make you pay if you make mistakes. So our preparation, just like last week, has to be the same. It's got to be detailed. It has to be focused and purposeful with everything that we do. And then you got to bring your A game on Friday, and that's what we're going to try to do.
Wallen took the knee, kind of slow to get up. Any injuries with him or others on the team that will affect this weekend?
I think at this time of year, after you go through a difficult preseason and then a couple of games on the weekend, especially a game like St. Cloud where it was pretty intense, you're going to have bumps and bruises. So I think that's what we have right now, and we'll go through that. Every team's going to go through that, and these guys are resilient. They have a way of bouncing back pretty quick. If you and I probably did it, we wouldn't bounce back as quickly. But other than that, nothing really to report.